Welcome to the second week of the MOOC on Managing Responsibly. In this week we are going to talk about ecological sustainability. And ecological sustainability is about the impact that our economic activities have on the natural environment. And when we think about ecological impact, it's very easy to immediately think about technology as being the cause of that impact, and also the solution to that impact, because if we can improve our technology, then we can also sort of diminish the ecological impact. And I'm here today to make a point about technology, because very often we think about technological development as something that happens to us. So it's simply a trend that we have to succumb to. And the point I want to make is that even though technology is something that's developed and we have to live with it, we can also make choices within that development. To make that point, I'm here today in the Museum of Science and Industry in Manchester. And this museum is devoted to the history of technology and the role that Manchester played in that history. So you will find, for instance, the first stored program computer that was developed by researchers of the University of Manchester. And today we are here in the Power Hall, which has a collection of technologies that have been used over time to generate the power for economic processes. And of course, power is quite important, and you will probably know that in the Industrial Revolution, sort of generating power through steam engines was a very big improvement over the power that was used up till then, which was human power and animal power, and to some extent water power. And the steam engine was a very big improvement in the sense that it could generate much more power. And the steam engine also had a lot of consequences, because it's quite expensive equipment. At least at that time it was very expensive equipment. It meant that you had to organize activities around the engine. So the reason why we have factories, or that factories started to develop in the 19th century, is because people started organizing production around these steam engines to make the most out of that. Another consequence of using steam engines is that they have a negative impact on the environment. They basically produce smoke, and the smoke went up into the air, but very quickly came down again, and it caused damage to both buildings, but also, for instance, it soiled the laundry that people were hanging outside to dry. And what is interesting, and that's really the point why I'm telling this story, is that as a consequence of this impact, people started to take action. So in some countries like Prussia, the government tried to get firm owners to improve the rate of combustion, and in that way improve the ecological performance of these engines. And in other cities, communities together with factory owners also developed a collaborative approach to improve the performance of this technology. So this is a first example where we have a technological development, but where people also actively try to shape that development in such a way that it actually has less ecological impact. A second example is something that I didn't really know about before I came into this museum, and it's the example of hydraulical power. And hydraulical power was a system of pipelines through the city of Manchester, and it was developed also in a couple of other cities in the UK. And basically hydraulical power means that you use a steam engine to put water under pressure, and then the pressured water can be used as a source of power, and through that power you can then operate presses, cranes and other equipment. And this is for me interesting because in a way this is an alternative to the electricity network. Because the electricity network basically means that we generate power in one place and then we distribute it to other sources. And the hydraulic power network is an alternative to that. And you might expect that that quickly dissolved, you know, around maybe 1900 or something like that. But actually this network was active until 1972 in Manchester. And this is interesting because it shows that we have alternatives. Yeah? So very often technologies are not the only possibility to do a certain thing. We have alternative technological solutions. So again, this shows that there is choice. And because there is choice, there is also a reason to take seriously the idea that we have to manage responsibly.